10 Minutes to Joy is your weekly invitation to reset, recharge, and rediscover your most joyful self through aha moments and simple energy techniques. You're listening to holistic psychotherapist Sylvia Plester-Silk. I work with individuals, couples, and groups. From parole officer to private practice, I've learned many a lesson, and I'm ready to share. Today, I'm going to share with you a very well-known secret. About 2 years ago, I started having these little flashes of intuition. Oh, wouldn't it be cool to be doing this kind of energy work with couples in the room? And then my thinking mind would get involved on how could that possibly work? How could I do that? But these thoughts kept coming, these intuitive hits kept coming back and nagging me, as the universe will around my work. And this year, I started to take another course called the Compassion Key. And partway through my first certification, I had an aha moment. I suddenly saw how I could be doing deep reparative work with each member of a couple in the room at the same time. Then I froze for a while again. And I thought, I have to test this. And I don't know how to test it. But I knew that I needed to do a beta test and make sure it worked. Fortunately, I had breakfast scheduled with my good friend, and I shyly mentioned to her that I wanted to do this. And her eyes opened and she said, I have a couple to refer to you. So the beta test started. Sometimes you know you're on the right course when the universe just shows up and offers you things. But you have to do your equal part. And that's where I have sometimes on this fallen down. Fast forward, post beta test. I knew I was onto something. The results that my couples achieved were extraordinary. I knew I couldn't just pretend this was nothing again. Because let's face it, I do that to myself and the universe is I pretend that I don't have anything of value. I was working with one of my business coaches, and we came up with the name Joyana Cara Method, which really embodied the energy of the work that I was doing. It's bringing this joyful connection back to couples who had had struggles and difficulties in their relationship, who were mired with medical issues, affairs, betrayals, real struggles, just couldn't communicate and get on the same page. You see, so much of traditional talk therapy type couples work is about, I heard you say, and really learning to listen. But what we miss in that is the patterns that are underneath it that are subconsciously playing out that we're not aware of. So yes, we want to hear our clients. We really want to hear our partner. Oh, that was a bad slip. I genuinely want to hear what my partner has to say. I genuinely want to hear him. I genuinely want him to hear me. And every time that hasn't worked, it hasn't because we aren't attempting to listen. We're very deeply attempting to listen to one another. But something in our conscious, subconscious, superconscious gets in the way. I have found a way to take the work that I have been doing for 20 some years as in energy with my clients and have the other partner be in the room at the same time. So we're doing work. I'm doing work with both partners, and it is sometimes very overwhelming. It can be emotional. Both partners often will cry. One of my great strengths is being able to create safe space where people can be and do. I'm really good at keeping people grounded while we do this work, which is uber important. And I can take you back to core wounding, but I just don't take you back there and leave you. We do reparative work in that moment. So when you walk out of a session, an hour, 90 minutes, 2 hours later, you're in a different place to hear your partner around that issue than you were when you walked in. I encourage you all to go to my new website, pathtojoy.ca, and read the case study that is up there that one of the couples in the beta test honored me so much with their presence. Please know that the names, they got to choose what their names were, because for obvious reasons, there's no identifying details in that case. But it is true information other than the names have been changed for privacy purposes. What I've learned in this work is that I love it. I can't talk about it without almost vibrating because I find it so much of a breakthrough in how couples therapy has ever worked. I want to help couples, not clients, well, as clients, but couples to actually be present in the moment for themselves, for each other, for their children, for their families, for their worlds. I want to help couples find a way to be true to themselves in the coupleship. And I'm also one of those couple therapists that isn't attached to you staying together. So let's say that we start to work together and you decide to separate. Imagine separating, feeling compassion for yourself and the other person at the same time. So there's not the struggle and the fight to get your own needs met, but instead you could actually work it through and share, and in a really respectful way move ahead and get rid of any old patterns so you're not attracting the same type of pattern in your next relationship, and you can have emotional freedom and really truly enhanced relationships. I can't tell you enough about this work and what an absolute joy and thrill it is to have couples trust me to this level, to be able to help them see something in a different way and clean it up, just do this reparative work so they no longer have to struggle with it. So if you are in Ontario and you are part of a coupleship that is looking for a new way to approach potentially old problems, I may be your gal. Again, on pathtojoy.ca, there is a link to set up a free complimentary 20-minute good fit call. Now, on that call, both partners and myself all have to be present because I want to make sure that both partners are equally committed to doing the depth of work that will be happening in my office or online, because we can do it virtually if that's needed, if you're in a far reach of Ontario. I'm licensed to work in Ontario, Canada. So those of you who are in Ontario, lucky you, you can work with me. I invite you again to check out the website. If this feels like a good fit, I would love to welcome you into the Joyana Cara Method and the miracles that can happen from this work. I'm Sylvia Plester-Silk, and what I have learned is that it is easy to go way beyond those patterns we're stuck in today so that we can create a joyful tomorrow together. That's all for today. Remember, your emotional freedom isn't found in controlling everything around you, but in releasing what no longer serves you, individually or as a couple. Each breath is an invitation to let go and embrace your most authentic self. Have a fabulous week.